Okay, good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Conscious Contact Speaker Group of Alcoholics Anonymous. My name is Brian, and I am an alcoholic. As you can see, we're in this room tonight. The church does Code Blue for the month of March, so we'll probably be in this room for the remainder of the month. Just kind of have to bear with it. If there's anything going on here, we might be in a room down the hall or something like that, but we'll keep you posted. If you're subscribed to the Facebook page, you can subscribe to that. It'll keep you informed on what's going on, speakers that are upcoming and stuff like that. This group does a Facebook page. It has a website. It was a good way to stay informed of like upcoming speakers and events. This group is going to have an event going on April 25th. We're going to have our anniversary meeting. There's going to be it'll probably start about 9:30 in the morning. We're going to have speakers all throughout the day, probably covering all 12 steps. We'll probably break sometime in the afternoon around 5 o'clock and sort of reset. And then there will be the regularly scheduled speaker at 8:30 that evening. Should be a pretty good time. Enjoy. What else we got? We can't use these bathrooms over here, so we do have to use the regular bathrooms that we use that are down here. You follow the hallway all the way down. Bathrooms over there, they use those for the service in the morning. So that's about it. Nick's going to come up here. He's going to chair the meeting. Have a good time, guys.
Thanks, Brian.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Conscious Contact Speaker Group of Alcoholics Anonymous. My name is Nick and I'm a grateful recovered alcoholic. Amen. This is a 1-hour speaker meeting that meets every Saturday evening at St. Paul's Lutheran Church, 301 North Main Street at 8:30 in Doylestown, PA. The business meeting for this group meets every Saturday at 7 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. right here. The purpose of this group is to provide a consistent message of hope and recovery through God reliance and service to others through the practice and teachings of the 12 steps. We record all speakers so that the others may benefit from their message of recovery. If you wish to not be recorded, just simply ask. This is an open meeting of Alcoholics Anonymous. The group would like to welcome everyone, especially newcomers. Is there anyone new or from out of town that would like to introduce themselves with their first name? Anybody?
Hi, I'm Amanda. I'm an alcoholic.
Hey Amanda, welcome.
I'm Jimmy, I'm an alcoholic.
Jimmy, welcome.
I'm Danielle and I'm an alcoholic.
Hey Danielle, welcome. Good.
Sarah, alcoholic.
Hey Sarah, welcome.
Shannon, I'm an addict.
Hey Shannon, welcome. Anybody else?
I'm Nicole, I'm an alcoholic.
Hey Nicole, welcome. All right. The Conscious Contact Speaker Group encourages sponsorship. Would anyone with a working knowledge of the 12 steps and is willing to sponsor, please raise your hands. Thank you guys. Are there any announcements for the good of AA? Okay.
Hi, I'm Maggie. I'm an alcoholic.
Hi Maggie.
Thursday, March 19th, the North Wales New Group is having their anniversary meeting. It's at St. Peter's, 211 Main Street in North Wales. Food and Fellowship starts at 11 a.m. and the speaker is at noon. And also on Thursday, March 19th, Late Nighters at Salem, UCC Church, 186 East Court Street in Doylestown is having their anniversary meeting. Food and Fellowship's at 9. The speaker is Steve S. at 9:30. Sunday, March 29th, the Chalfont Sunday group is having their 47th anniversary meeting at 6:30 p.m. The Food and Fellowship's at 6:30 p.m. The meeting's at 7:30, and it's at Chalfont United Methodist Church, 11 Meadowbrook Lane, Chalfont.
Thanks, Maggie.
Thank you. Thank you. Anybody else? Good.
I'm Courtney, I'm an alcoholic.
Hey Courtney.
The Bucks County Committee of Young People in AA is hosting a camping conference. That's going to be from May 29th to the 31st. You can come for one day, all 3 days. Registration is available online currently for $120 until May. It goes up to $130. Day passes are $50. All your food is included. We have cabins, tent areas, meetings, all kinds of amenities at the site. So for more information, just come see me after the meeting.
Thank you, Courtney. Anybody else? Go ahead, Amanda.
Amanda, alcoholic.
Hi, Amanda.
Hi, the 4th annual Keystone Conference is happening in Wilkes-Barre. It's May 15th, 16th, and 17th. There's like 10 different speakers, so there'll be speakers all weekend long, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. There's coffee, snacks, and they also have a lunch on Saturday. You can register online or you can register with me. Just see me after the meeting if you're interested in coming.
Thanks,
Thanks, Amanda. Any more announcements? All right. So we have meeting lists and big books on easy terms. Please see me or any home group member after the meeting. If you cannot afford a big book, the Conscious Contact Speaker Group will give you one at no charge. Anyone willing to make donations for the purchase of big books and CDs to help those who cannot afford them can put donations in the jar. On the table marked big book and CD donations. It's back there by the food. And if you would like a CD of any speaker, past or present, see me or Ron or any of the home group members before or after the meeting. They're available free of charge. And with that, I would like to introduce Frank to read the preamble.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Frank, and I'm definitely alcoholic. Alcoholics Anonymous is a fellowship of men and women who share their experience, strength, and hope with each other that they may solve their common problem and help others to recover from alcoholism. The only requirement for membership is a desire to stop drinking. There are no dues or fees for AA membership. We are self-supporting through our own contributions. AA is not allied with any sect, denomination, politics, organization, or institution. Does not wish to engage in any controversy, neither endorses nor opposes any causes. Our primary purpose is to stay sober and help other alcoholics to achieve sobriety. And with that, I would like to introduce Eric.
Thanks, Eric.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Eric. I'm an alcoholic.
Hi, Eric.
And these are the 12 steps of recovery. 1, we admitted we were powerless over alcohol, that our lives had become unmanageable. 2, came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. 3, made a decision to turn our will and our lives over to the care of God as we understood Him. 4, made a searching and fearless moral inventory of ourselves. 5, admitted to God, to ourselves, and to another human being the exact nature of our wrongs. 6, we're entirely ready to have God remove all these defects of character. 7, humbly asked Him to remove our shortcomings. 8, made a list of all persons we had harmed and became willing to make amends to them all. 9, made direct amends to such people wherever possible, except when to do so would injure them or others. 10, continued to take personal inventory and when we were wrong, promptly admitted it. 11, sought through prayer and meditation to improve our conscious contact with God as we understood Him, praying only for knowledge of His will for us and the power to carry that out. And 12, having had a spiritual awakening as a result of these steps, we tried to carry this message to alcoholics and to practice these principles in all our affairs. And I'm going to have Nick come back to introduce our speaker for tonight.
All right, the 7th tradition, every AA group ought to be fully self-supporting, declining outside contributions. At this time, I'd like to pass the basket. We have no dues or fees, but we do have expenses. This group provides many services. Your donations cover rent, big books, CDs, events, and workshops. There is absolutely no smoking on church property. Please take a moment to silence all cell phones and limit movement during the meeting to avoid distractions. Now, I'd like to introduce a good friend of the Conscious Contact Speaker Group from the Primary Purpose Group out in Trucksville, Jaha.
Alright, somebody left their phone. Oh, it recorded. My bad. Hello guys, I'm Jaha. I'm a grateful recovered alcoholic. First of all, I'd like to thank for this group asked me to come speak, and it's always an honor and privilege to speak on Alcoholics Anonymous, and so I'm blessed to be here, man. It's literally just trying to tell you what you guys did for me. My life changed because of Alcoholics Anonymous and God. Literally, there's nothing I did. What I did is I missed my life. That's one thing I'm good at it. And I don't need nobody help. I'm very professional when it comes to that. And so my home group is a primary purpose group out in Sharksville. It's a beginner big book study meeting. Now, I have experience in Alcoholics Anonymous going to a meeting without going through the 12 steps, just going to the meeting. Yeah. I did that about 8 years. By the way, you guys know I'm from Africa, right? Wakanda forever. Anyway, I got a phone call. It's like, hey, would you like to come speak here? I say, yeah, sure. That's all I said. I'm like, yeah, why not? And He asked me, where you from? I said, I'm from Wilkes-Barre. He say, no, where you really from? And I'm from Africa. I'm from Ethiopia and born and raised. Lived there for 19 years. But I'm not going to talk about that right now because it's going to be a history channel. You know what I mean? If I'm just trying to. But one thing I love, like going to rehab and halfway houses. It's only my people ask me questions that nobody else asks me a question. Like normal people, they don't ask me if we have dope in Africa. Like, you know what I mean? You know, I love us, man. I found my people and I'm blessed. And it doesn't happen anywhere else, you know. And it's a blessing. But I came in an AA when I was 22. I'm 37 years old now. I didn't get sober till I was 30. So I came in Alcoholics Anonymous and so didn't speak any English and it's weird. Coming to Alcoholics, sitting down. I'm from Wilkes-Barre area and I remember sitting down in an AA meeting and I look around. I say, oops. I'm the only black guy in here. They're not gonna help me. So I left. I don't know why. I should not trust my thinking process, but my thinking process always have a way of separating me from anybody, man. And you can sit me down with my own family and I'll find a way why I'm different from them and why they don't like me. It's been in my life till I found alcohol. Alcohol is the only thing ever gave me that peace that I didn't know I was looking for. Anybody can relate? If you hate alcohol, you might hate me too because I don't hate alcohol. I loved alcohol. Alcohol saved my life, literally. I used to think about killing myself sober. Then I drink, blackout, and forget what I'm supposed to do, right? I love alcohol, okay? Pretty much, this is my experience. It did something that I had no idea what it was, but thank God for Alcoholics Anonymous, man. That changed my life for good, and it taught me. What I did not understand for a long time is what I have was illness. I kind of know it was illness because every time I go to rehab, it's insurance paying for it. That's it. That's the only understanding I have. Still what the insurance say, hey, we can't pay for you no more. And they decline me because every 2 weeks I want to go back to the same rehab I was in. I'm one of those people. If you put me to lie detective right before I leave rehab and say, if you ask me a question, would you drink again? I say no and I'll pass it. Half hour later, you'll find me drunk somewhere. And I'm like, what's wrong with me? Anybody ever, people keep saying to you, what's wrong with you? I'm like, it's the same question I've been asking myself, man. There's nothing new. And that was my experience, man. And so I came in, I run to AA every time I leave a treatment center and I sit down and I always tell myself, this time I'm going to do something different. I need to do whatever it told me to do. So get a sponsor with time, join home group, start making coffee. Still till this day I don't like making coffee. One reason. When I make coffee I don't pay any attention. The only thing I pay attention is looking at people enjoying my coffee. I'm selfish to the core. That's what happened to me when I make coffee. I watch you enjoying my coffee. And I do stuff and I go find a sponsor, whatever. So I came, I'm not bashing anything. Don't take it that way. But I'm going to tell you something. Where I'm from, it was not a big book meetings. The 12 and 12 was big. I was taken through the 12 and 12. I don't know. It's a good book, but there's no action in that book. You can't take action out of the 12 and 12. The program for action is in a big book, the first time, the 64 pages. See, when I found this sponsor, I'm gonna tell you the story how I found my sponsor. But when I sat down first time, and I feel like I broke the rule to get sober. If anybody get offended why I'm still alive, I'm sorry, but I have a female sponsor. I don't know what happened, but after going in and out in this rehab, I have a special skill that I think is a gift from God, but I can fall in love in 2 seconds in a psych hospital. 2 seconds, right? I think it's a gift. But that happened a lot, and like 2 days ago I was suicidal, now I'm in love, you know what I mean? Like that's how my life went. But I met this girl, and I didn't see her for about a month or two, I don't remember, but I went to a meeting and I saw this girl. I'm like, oh, shorty. And I say hi after the meeting, how you doing? She's like, would you like to sit down and talk? I'm like, yes. I'm very interested. So she took me to Carrie Dawn. After we sat down, she started talking, right? And guys, I'm looking at this girl, I'm like, everything she's saying is making sense to me. And actually she was on page 52, they call it the bedevilment. And she was describing that to me. I'm like, oh my God. What? Okay. They say leave it alone, so I will. She described to me what untreated alcoholism is. And I'm like, wow, this makes more sense than anything else. Now she's about a month and a half or 2 months sober, and she say one thing, I'm like, but she say, I have to find people to sponsor. I'm like, you like a month and a half, 2 months sober, you trying to sponsor people? She's like, yeah, I have to. That's the only way not to pick up a drink. I'm like, no. You can't sponsor people when you have 2 months. Why don't you just buy a gun and start shooting people? It's the same thing. Okay, guys, where I came from, so you guys can understand, there's a time limit. At least you have to be 2 years sober to sponsor people. And the big book will tell you, you ain't getting no 2 years till you sponsor people. And so I did not know. Then she said, hey, would you like to come to my home group? You might like it. So I like this girl. So if I go, you know, what I'm going to lose, right? Might get lucky. And I'm just keeping it honest with you guys. And I went to this meeting, which is, I think I never hated anybody in Alcoholics Anonymous in my entire life to these people. They run to me like, they kind of knew I was new. They were like 11 or 12 people, and then they all smiling, and which is as soon as I see, I'm good at, like, I can look at people in 2 seconds, I can tell who they are and how they are and if they sober or not. I can do that. I think that's another gift I have. And so I believe they were getting high or getting drunk somehow, because it's impossible to be this happy and sober. So they came to me and was like, here's the coffee if you need a coffee, and in this bathroom. I'm like, I know where it is. So I'm this guy. If you don't come say hi to me, I'm like, I'll never come back to here. Nobody ever say hi to me, right? Then if you come say hi to me, I'm like, leave me alone. Like that's how I am. And I don't know why I do that. But that's been my experience. So I raised my hand in the middle of the meeting. They still laugh about that. I say, is this AA meeting? What they were doing is, we still do it to this day. They read a paragraph, and they talk about that paragraph only. So I came to the meeting where you can talk about anything. Like, you have a problem? Yes, man. I'm like, immigration trying to deport me. Any help? You know what I mean? And he gave feedback, man, from DNA, man. Somebody's like... And, because that's what I thought what AA was. You have a problem, you can't, you know, vomit on everybody. It's like, yo, hey, this is my problem, will you fix it for me? Like, that's what I thought Alcoholics Anonymous was all about. And it looked like nobody wants to help me, especially when they say, trust God. I'm like, yep. You don't want to help me. Why don't you just say you don't want to help me, right? But after sitting down in that meeting, and I was a little upset that how they are happy in AA and I'm not. And so I went out and no. This lady, she's very annoying. She laugh at anything stupid. Right, that's what I do. Like, if you laugh at something and I don't get the joke, I just think you're stupid, right? It's not like maybe I could be not understanding the joke. That's not crossing my mind. You're just stupid, and you're just showing off. Shouldn't laugh this loud, and people are in pain, you know. And she comes to me, it's like, listen, I hold a big book study meeting in my house. Would you like to come over? I'm like, yeah, sure. Okay, I'll come pick you up where you live. So I could just give her an address. But by this time I was homeless. So I don't want them to know I'm homeless. I don't know why. But I don't want it, so I just gave her an address. And she came pick me up, and I went to her house. I'm sitting down in her house. I'm thinking, I'm measuring her TV with the window, because in my head, I'm going to come back and rob this lady. And this is mine. And like, if you love me, I'm taking everything out of you. Like, look at your family, look at my family, right? This is what I do. I'll take everything from you. And it's been my experience. And but I was curious that I noticed people were drinking or doing something and just needed to figure that out, right? So she said, make yourself at home. Sure. And I opened the fridge. Guess what's in there? Can anybody guess? Bottle of vodka. I'm like, I knew it. I'm gonna ask her to sponsor me. She is my sponsor, by the way, now, but that's not the reason why I asked her. We will get into that. But I was curious, so I went back to this lady and I say, you're an alcoholic, right? She's like, yes, I am. I'm like, why the hell do you have alcohol in your fridge? She's like, oh, well, my family are not alcoholics. They can drink. I'm like, poor lady. See, in my experience, when I stop drinking, everybody need to cooperate. Especially if you are a family member. You ain't drinking in my house. That's not how it was for me. It's like, so I'm all looking at this lady. I'm like, oh my God, I was wrong about this lady. She's like, her family's torturing her. Then she said another thing, which is I ended up asking her to help me with this. Is she say, I do a 12-step course as well. I'm like, oh. Now, I'm an AA for 8 years by this time. I walk around that I know everything about Alcoholics Anonymous. I just can't stay sober, but I know everything about AA, right? That's the type of dude I am. And I said, what is a 12-step call? She's like, well, sometimes a drunk will call 1-800-AA hotline. We got hotline, that's cool. And sometimes we have to take them to the detox. But if they don't have enough alcohol in their system, they can die what is called DT. So we have to feed them alcohol till they make it to the hospital. Like, that was the most powerful thing I ever heard from another alcoholic in my entire life. So I'm thinking, I'm like, if I ever get to do that job, whoever is going is dying on the way. Because I can't ever see me pouring alcohol to someone else. But today, that's not my experience. I did not know about 10-step promises. I did not know about the problem being removed. I did not know all this. I thought this is all about fighting. One thing that used to make me mad, though, like, we have a lot of, I work in the treatment field, so they have their own message. And we have our own message. Somehow they mixed. One of them is change people, places, and things. I'm like, yo, I'm born and raised in Africa, left the whole continent. Still getting messed up, you know? You know, where do you want me to go? The problem is not external. I wish it was. But you know what I mean? The problem is not alcohol. This was never it. is I have this internal condition that I had no idea I was treating with alcohol. I had no idea till I sat down with a sponsor, going through a book, understanding this illness. Like I said, never understood it. So what happened is, after she told me that, I went back out drinking again, and about 2 days around, and it's like every time we relapse, like it gets shorter and shorter. It's like the run, like my last run was like half a day, right? half a day and half for loco, and I'm already like, I need to go to treatment, right? And so I went to First Hospital, which is the only place I can go. I was there 19 times, so just go to General Hospital, you knock the door, hey, it's me, Jaha again, trying to kill myself. How you doing? And, and I go in there for 7-8 days, and when they let me out, and I go right back to drinking. Then I left, and I went to Pizza Fellas, and I grabbed 4 Loco, and I sip it, and I got back in that power to do whatever I want. So I called this lady, and I say, hello, this is Jaha. She hung up the phone. You know why she hung up the phone? She thought I was a telemarketer. Yeah, this accent is getting me in trouble. But yeah, so I called her again and just said, this is Jaha. Came you? She was like, oh, hi, how you doing? I was like, I just wish you were a man. She said, excuse me? I said, I wish you were a man. She's like, why? I would ask you to sponsor me. Because the first time, I hear it in how it works, right? And how it works is they say this, if you want what we have. I didn't know what I wanted. Like, I did not, all I knew, I just did not want what I have. But I honestly did not know what I want. Okay, I did not know what I want. But that's the first time I've seen freedom. And that's what I wanted. And I asked her, and she's like, why can't I sponsor you? I was like, well, they say man with the money, or whatever. She said, yeah, that's not a message. And that's a message that came from rehab. It's not our message. She said, let me ask you a question. I said, what? Who started AA? I'm like, Bill W. and Dr. Bob. She said, now ask yourself, who sponsored the first female ever walked in AA? Right? And I'm like, I said, so can you? She said, yes, but we need to sit down first and talk. I never heard a qualifying people before I met this lady, by the way. She sat me down like interview. I'm like 2 days sober. I'm like crying when I'm supposed to laugh, and I'm laughing when I'm lost. So okay, I have no idea. So she sat me down and made me so mad because she asked me one question that got me so mad. She asked me if I was an alcoholic. I'm like, we met in AA, right? Like, how do you ask someone you met in AA if they're an alcoholic? What else would I come here? You know what I mean? Because now I get it, but the big book keep mentioning if you are a real alcoholic, if you are a real alcoholic. I'm like, what do you mean a real alcoholic? People would fake it to come in AA? Like the last place, right? To come and fake and like, but I understand by staying long enough to see not everybody need to do what I have to do. My experience show it, and I'm not here to judge anybody, but she sat me down, she asked me about if I was an alcoholic, and I say, yes, I am. She said, what is an alcoholic? I'm like, what do you mean? Me? No, what is the definition of an alcoholic? So now I'm going out on Alcoholics Anonymous, and it says the description of the alcoholic, right? And how it works? I did not know we have a description. So I'm telling her, well, this is why I think I'm an alcoholic. I have 2 DUIs, I've been homeless, and I went to jail. She say, DUI make you a shitty driver, not an alcoholic. I'm like, okay. Going to jail and make you a criminal, not an alcoholic. Oh boy. Being a homeless make you a bum, not an alcoholic. I'm like, so what am I, you know? And she say, an alcoholic is someone who lost the power to choose whether he will drink or not. I'm like, that's it? That's all it is? It's like nothing that ever happened to me and all that stuff just really outside really doesn't matter? Nope. It's an internal condition. The question is, do you have the power not to do it? She said, don't answer this based on how you feel right now. Answer this question based on your experience. Have you ever made a decision not to drink again? I say, yes. Believed yourself? Yes. Did you drink again? Yes. Welcome. Okay, cool. What do I do? What I need to do? Well, the problem is powerless. The problem is not alcohol, so you gotta gain access to this power to help you to overcome alcoholism. Okay, what do I need to do? So we said the whole 1, 2, 3 for me happened in 4 or 5 hours in the sitting. When I'm judging this lady, I'm like, I think we're doing this too fast, man. Because people used to say, hey, take your time. This is not a rush. Actually, it is. Like between life and death. Literally. Now I know that. I did not know before. So, but what happened is, I think this is why they want us to, the book wants us to do this pretty quick. The type of alcoholic I am, I lose my willingness, because the willingness is the key to do this stuff. Some reason, you give me about 2 weeks, 3 weeks sober, or a month or 2 months to do this, I don't have the willingness no more. And I don't know why I lose my willingness. Does that make any sense? The first 3, 4 days, that's what happened. I'm going to explain to you, like, because the first step requires one thing, and it's surrender. And the picture of surrender, as my sponsor explained to me, is that if you're in a war, and all the people on your side are dead, and you're the only one left, you have 2 choices here. Continue to fight till they blow you out, or surrender. So when you decide to surrender, there's 3 actions in the surrender. The first is, put the gun down. Second, you raise your hand. The third, and the most important, you're going to do whatever I tell you to do. Not to make them happy, to save your life. Oh, that makes sense, right? Because he's my experience, okay? If you catch me in detox the first 2, 3, 4 days, I'm the most humble guy. I'm willing to do whatever, and I'm on this. I don't want to do anything. Please tell me 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 days, something internally starts switching. Usually it's the food. I gotta eat this greasy garbage food again. I can't believe I put myself in this place again. I can't believe it. Right? I don't say it loud, but that's what happened in my head. But 2 weeks later, I realized I haven't seen my roommate taking a shower. I'm like, stink. Like, I gotta live like this, and I can't believe I put myself in this again, right? And I'm one of those alcoholics who fake all kind of illness on the planet Earth to get every medication they got in there. So the med opens 8 o'clock, and I'm at the line 7:55. So the lady better come and open that door. When she's not opening, I'm going in my head. She's not a happy person, you know. She hit her job. She's just taking it on you know what I mean? She's taking it on me. And yeah, I'm like, come on in. Can I get my medication? She's like, I'm coming. I'm like, come on. It's my money. It's my insurance. She's like, no, you're county funded. And about 2 weeks, 3 weeks in the rehab, and we're sitting down in the group, and I'm looking at this girl, and she's looking at me. I don't know what she's thinking, but this was going on in my head. It's like, okay, me and her, we're going to get out of here. We're going to get a little apartment together. We're going to start going to meetings. We're going, you know what I mean? We're going to do this deal, all right? Like, I'm happy. I'm smiling in my head. This happened like in 2 seconds. And then she turned around and smiling at the dude next to me. And I'm like, slut, right? Now, here it is. Now I'm mad at her, and I'm mad at him. He didn't even do nothing to me. Right? So 3 weeks later, rehab, they're going to catch me packing my stuff to leave, and I ain't got nowhere to go. And they were like, where are you going? Family emergency. I got to go. I can't live like this in here. Anybody can relate what I'm talking about? Cool, I'm in the right place. And I know this is the mind I'm walking around with, right? So this is how my head works. So I know I can't trust me. So I sat down. We did the first step with my sponsor. Now when it comes to second step, here is I know one thing, I never had a problem. Well, actually, I used to be embarrassed for people when I was in the rehab that they couldn't even say God. Now I'm born and raised in Africa, in Ethiopia, where Orthodox and Muslim is the major religion. Everybody believed in God. I did not know people can be atheists till I came to America. I'm like, whoa! How to be one of them? I know that for sure. All I need to do to think is a cool thing to do, and I'll do it. That's my head work. If I think something is cool, I'll do it. So I think you'll like me if I do that. That's how I lived most of my life. But I never had a problem with God. Never. I believed in God all my life, but I could not stop drinking. So there must be something wrong. I even told my sponsor we don't need to read the chapter to agnostic. I know, which is that chapter changed my life. Really did. And I love how they put it, lack of power, that was our dilemma. We had to find a power which we could live by. And it had to be power greater than ourselves. Obviously, where and how to find this power. Where and how to find this power. I'm caught up with who is this power? Where and how? Where? They clearly wrote it on page 55. Actually, we were fooling ourselves, for deep down, every man, a woman, a child is a fundamental idea of God. I don't know what that means to you, but for me that was like, I drink for 3-4 days straight, and I get sick, and I'll be in the bathroom throwing up. You know the alcoholic throwing up? We even throw up differently. Like I'm in holding everything, it's like, nothing comes out, just the sound, right? Oh, I'm for like dying. And I say, God, please stop this, I'll never do this again. Anybody been in court? Right when we stand with the judge, who are we talking to? So the question was, how did you know to do that? See, my family never raised me that way. Hey son, when you grow up, become an alcoholic, you're in the bathroom throwing up, you feel like dying, ask for God. Hey son, when you grow up, become a criminal, when you stand in front of the judge, ask God to get you out of that. Nobody taught me that. How did I know? When a real problem comes in, I know how to get to real God real quick. And here's the crazy thing. How the hell I'm saying it, you understanding it? So I need to stop fooling myself. Yo, stop fooling yourself, right? There's a word that's being honest. Literally, be honest with yourself and you find that power. That's pretty much what it was. And that's where. So the next question is how to find it. Do you know they got the whole chapter, it's called How Works? This is the how. First of all, we had to quit playing God. That's a whole another thing. I'm still struggling with that. As an idea, the most I never heard of that way of this playing God, and this is all I did. This is crazy. But now I did that. I stopped reading because this is the major change for me. When I came to America, I was this poor, and I was here a while. But this lady asked me where I was from. I said I'm from Ethiopia. She looked at me and said, oh, I guess she saw the Hungry commercial, whatever, so, and I'm like, yep, I did the commercial, so I'm like, I'm feeding her, right, I'm feeding her story, so the more I'm telling her, the more drink she's buying, that's what I thought was happening, so I'm like, yeah, and I told her, when I was 5 years old, the army came and killed all my family, and they took me, become their soldier. And I grew up till I was 19, and a missionary rescued me to come to America. Tell me that's not a cool story. It is a true story, but it's not mine. So now, the problem happened is, I wrote that on my 4th step, okay? And I'm like making amends to people who don't exist, and so some reason I made it about 2 months sober, right? And I went to a Salvation Army program. Salvation Army is one of the biggest part of my starting, man. And I hated it. It was like they pay you $7 a week. I'm like, what? This is Salvation Army or a Slavation Army, right? And $7, a week. And I'm in there, and all I want to do was this: take my own life out of this planet. And I did not know why. And this lady is coming, spending her time with me, right? She's sitting down, she's just trying to show me this process, and she's spending everything she got. And one time she picked me up for a meeting. We were going to the meeting, and her daughter name is Grace. Grace at that time was about to become a doctor. She's a doctor now. One of Grace's goals was to go to Africa and help people. Her mom, which is my sponsor, everything she knows about Africa is from me, and she told her daughter, "You're not going there." Now she's telling me this, now I'm like, oh my God, look what I'm doing, right? It just came around, then I'm like, I can't get honest with this. There's no way. I can't tell the truth. No, I did not know she's like going to see counselors and all that because of me, right? Because telling all this story. So while I was at the Salvation Army, there was a guy that I did not like. His name is Jerry. I couldn't say his name because today I love him. I love him to death. I didn't like him one reason. Now I know the truth. There's a lot of people that I didn't like know how to live right. And I didn't. So every time I'm around them, I feel like this big, so I just can't stand you. I'm like, put the FBI zone and just find 7 bad things about you that I can talk about. You know what I mean? That's how I was. I know I spent my time that way. But I got honest with him. I say, Jerry, I got to talk to you. He's like, what's up, dude? Come on, right? And we sat down, and I told him, listen, this is what I told my sponsor, but now I'm doing everything that I could that my sponsor never met my mom. Because my mom lives in Washington, D.C., by the way, okay? She's still alive. But that was my story. And I say, I don't know how to clean it. He say, listen, go back to her. Tell her the whole true story. If she's a God-sender woman, she will take you through the step again. Honestly, this time. If it's not, you'll find somebody else to take you through the steps. But you can't do anything before you get honest with her. I wish I can tell you I went back the next day and did it. That was about 2-3 weeks. Like, I'm going to do it today, I'm going to do it today, I'm going to do it today. And I'm like, oh, I need a cigarette though. If I tell her, she ain't going to buy me smoke. So let me get my pack and I'll tell her the story. So finally, man, I decided to tell her, and she just looked at me and said, she said, I want to show you something. And she went back to forward to first edition. And part of it says, we Alcoholics Anonymous are more than 100 men and women who have recovered from seemingly hopeless state of mind and body. To show as an alcoholic how we have recovered is the main purpose of this book. To them, we have no further authentication will be provide. So and it says, most people don't understand the alcoholic as a very sick person. The first time I understood my sickness. I was sick human being. And then I sat down with her. Then after that, it wasn't a lot of big deal, but it was a lot. I love how the 4 steps say this is a true finding, fact-finding, fact-facing process. And I need to learn a fact about me. About you doesn't matter. You did a lot of things to me, and I know that. And I'm just waiting time to get back at you. You know what I mean? All I get back to God, and God will do something to you, and I'll be watching, right? So, but I started going through the 4th step, and the coolest thing started happening to me. Because I was able to write, like, literally what was most of my problems, most of my resentments, why I resent my mom. The reason I resent my mom, because she loved my sister more than me. my sponsor say, okay, cool. Did she tell you that she loved your sister more than you? I'm like, no, she didn't say it, but you can tell. Then something just started flooding, like, where did I get this information? Where that information came from? I have no idea. Actually, you ever seen this? You ever see two people talk like this? And looking at you, automatically thinking they just talked about you, just want to murder them? Like you have no idea what they say. No fact whatsoever, but some reason he just did that to me. Am I making any sense? That's the mind I'm walking around. But the truth finding out is like, I love how in a fear inventory, don't we ourselves set the ball rolling? You know why I think people are talking about me when I go like this? Because that's what I do every time I go like this. It was never you, it's me. My head, I don't know what this information, I have a daughter, she's 11 years old, and I had to make amend with my daughter mother, and which, you know, my sponsor told me clearly, we don't say I'm sorry, I don't know what time it is, let me check, 9:15, we got 15 more minutes. I thought, by the way, I was thinking it's in my head, the whole coronavirus going on, right? I say, if this was Ebola, an African speaker was coming, nobody showed up, right? I'm messed up in the head, but that's what I was thinking. But it's so I did a lot of dirt stuff to my daughter mother, and she's not one of us. She's one of those people have a glass of wine and get a headache and tired and wants to go to sleep, and I still till this day I don't understand it. And one thing I never seen an alcoholic do, go like this with the glass. Never seen any alcoholic go like this. I've seen a lot of normal people do that. I ain't never seen one of us just go like never seen that, still this thing. But this is embarrassing, but I'm gonna tell you, I had this feeling of she was seeing somebody, right? She was cheating on me. I don't know where I got that information, but I knew it. But I don't accuse people till I find the truth. And one thing I'm looking for is to catch her doing it. And what I did was I put my phone on record. And somebody said, oh my God. Okay, that's a hope right there. If he can do it, I can do it, right? So anyway, I put my phone under a bed and I left. And my phone recorded about 3.5 hours, whatever, so, and I came back and I'm sitting down listening to this for 3.5 hours, and I heard something on the phone and my stomach turned. But I wanted to be sure, so I called my brothers, like, so we have a family emergency, we gotta sit down and listen. So me and my brother sitting down, listening to this, and he just looking at me, keep going like this. That's what he's looking at me, and at the end, I'm like, did you hear that? Did you hear that, right? And at the end, he's like, there's nothing in there, what's wrong with you? I'm like, you didn't hear that? He said, no. Okay. I mean, anyways, I know you're always on her side. Every time I'm in jail, every time I'm in rehab, every time I go away, you're always around my house. It's probably you doing it. That's why you can't hear it. I'm telling you, this is embarrassing, but this is my thinking. Then I call my homeboy. It's like, yo, we need to sit down, smoke some weed, and listen to this, right? And another 3.5 hours, we sit down, listen to it, and he said, there's nothing in there. I'm like, you sure? He said, no, all right. So shook him hand and I hugged him. But I want you to see how I treat family members and how I treat the strangers. I'm always good for strangers. Anybody like me? No? Okay. But the truth was, where did I go when I put that phone under a bed? I was hanging out with another girl. So my biggest fear is other people gonna do to me what I've been doing to other people. Now you see why we need God? With that all information, I am still capable to do the same thing, right? My head is so judgmental. My first 2-3 years sobriety, I used to judge people that have time hooking up with a newcomer. So I'm like, yo, don't mess with him. He did it. Then I ended up hooking up with a newcomer. I'm like literally like new. I still test the Librium in her mouth. That kind of new. Now you don't catch me judging people. Isn't that crazy? And I judge you, and if I don't find how can I be helpful to you, I'm going to end up doing the same thing you're doing. So I don't know what I'm capable of. I love one of my friends, Johnny Books. He say, can you imagine if any person that's not centered with God, they doing stuff? You think if you're not centered with God, can you do the same thing? Absolutely. Absolutely. So what I'm trying to do to this day, don't judge anybody. It's the hardest thing. I wake up saying, don't judge. 3 minutes later, all I have to do is go to Turkey, I'll see 7 people online, I'm like, oh my God. You know, that's how my head works. So coming in AA, going through the process, going to the meeting does not treat alcoholism. I've been told so many times over and over. Actually, if you are my type of alcoholic, the more meeting you go into without practicing the spiritual principle, is the sicker you'll get. You get sick while you're sitting down in Alcoholics Anonymous. So your mind cannot wait to take that drink one more time. And you go out there, you pick up that drink, 2 minutes later, you can't wait till you get sober. You pick up that drink, you come in AA. How many people ever did this? In and out, in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out. That's what I did. So, I don't know what I say makes sense or understand me or help you. I don't know. It helps me. But one thing I'm going to tell you. Forget everything I say, but I'm going to tell you one thing. The first 164 pages in this book will solve all your problems. And I promise you, my name is Jaha. I'm a grateful recovery addict. Thank you for letting me share.
Jaha, thank you so much for coming out tonight. I appreciate your honesty, appreciate you having fun with it, and really just appreciate you bringing a great message of hope and recovery to our group tonight. A couple quick announcements and we'll get out of here. The food and the fellowship for this group starts at 8 o'clock normally, so we usually have the coffee on at 7:30, so get here early, hang out with us. If you feel like doing some service work, if you feel so inclined, you could always use help. There's always a meeting after the meeting, so if you're out there, if you're new, or if you're struggling, or if you've been coming around for a little while and it's just not working, grab somebody after the meeting. We'll probably be going out to Perkins, a small group of us. We do record all the speakers, so if you hear a message here that you enjoy, you think somebody else could benefit from, and you want to pass that message along, we usually have CDs available. You can also pick up CDs at our sister group for this group, which is Thursday nights at 7:30. It is a big book study up the road here at Salem Church. It is customary for us to thank our speakers. We usually form a line and thank our speakers personally, and if you do care to join us, we'll circle up and we have a nice way of closing. Thank you. Yeah, we'll just, it's a little tight in here, so we'll stand in.